If you're your heaviest weight right now and you are barely recognizing that person that you are in the mirror, this video is definitely for you. You are doing long cardio sessions, you are restricting your diet, you have an all or nothing mindset when it comes to losing weight, and the truth is you're just burning out, or you're either starting back of where you were starting. And I actually help ambitious professionals just like yourself who are crushing it in your career, but you're secretly struggling with your health, energy levels, and your confidence. And the truth is that you're just not lazy, you're not undisciplined. It's just because you've been working out with workout plans that is not fitting your lifestyle. So in this video, I'll share the exact workout plan that is going to finally create that momentum to you so you can reclaim your confidence, your energy levels, and having a lot more health so you can finally lose the weight and keep it off and love what you see in the mirror and pictures. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also turn on the bell to get notified whenever I'm making a new video about weight loss advice every single week. I used these strategies to lose 60 pounds in 8 months and kept it off for 12 years. And I also helped dozens of men and women just like yourself lose up to 60 pounds and finally escape that yo-yo dieting cycle. If you're constantly losing weight, gaining the same weight back, I want to help you get to your healthiest self without giving up the foods that you love. When it comes to the most efficient workout plan, you have to focusing on hypertrophy. That basically means that you are building as much muscle mass that you can, because the more muscle mass you are having, the more fat you're going to burn even when you are not doing anything. So if you're having a lot more workouts where you are focusing on increasing the muscle mass, you are burning 100 or 200 calories more every single day. So I always recommend that when you're starting out your workout, you are not warming up with the cardio machines or nothing. What you should do is focusing on the workout plan where you are focusing on compound movements. Compound movements are basically just workouts where you are using, for example, bigger muscle groups. Let's imagine that you want to grow your legs. So you're always focusing on leg workouts where you are targeting different kinds of muscle groups at the same time. To be giving you some specific examples, that could be leg presses where you are putting a lot of plates on, and using a lot of plates, you are not only targeting the glutes, the quads, or the hamstrings, and for example, the calves. So they are also the most demanding exercises when you are working out. So you're going to feel very exhausted, but it's also going to be the most efficient way to add on a lot of muscle mass. And I always recommend like 2 or 3 compound movement, because you want to really like put a lot of tension to break down these muscle tissues. Because if you're not applying enough tension on the muscle to break down, you're just not seeing any results. I see so many people who are working out at the beginning of their workouts with 2 kilo dumbbells when they're doing bicep curls. That's not enough resistance to break down the muscle tissues. So let's imagine that you start out your workout with the leg presses, and then you are changing it to hack squat, where you are targeting, for example, the front part of your legs. These are also called the quads, like the front of the quads. And then you are doing leg presses on the machines because you are just wanting to hit your legs different kinds of way, so you are targeting. So if you're, for example, using leg press with machines, you are placing your feet like in the middle of the like shoulder width apart, and then you're doing like 10 to 12 reps, and then after that you are supersetting with where you are placing the feet like more shoulder width apart. Because if you are doing it shoulder width apart, you are going to target the inner glutes. And then if you are putting your feet more than shoulder width apart, you're going to target the outer glutes. So you're going to have that nice bubble gut. And I also want to recommend that if you are starting out, you should always drink like 500 liters of water because you want to fuel yourself with enough like energy but also clarity when you are doing the workouts. And there's also very important that you have two different things that you want to be aware of. The first one is called mind muscle connection. It doesn't matter how much weight you are actually using. The most important thing is just that you are feeling the muscle being worked. You want to feel the contraction when you're working out, because sometimes when you are working out and you have not studied the workout, you are probably just want to target like the quads, but because you don't have a lot of mental clarity and you're not sure where the muscles you want to train are targeting, you are accidentally just tying the hamstrings. This is the back part of your legs. So you want to make sure that you're feeling the muscle being worked. To give you a quick example of how to demonstrate that, imagine that you have your bicep here and you want to train that bicep. You need to first of all study the bicep, how you're doing a bicep curl, and then you are like starting the bicep with the first curl here where you are feeling the muscle being contracted, and then through the next round you are just feeling it contracted even more. So this is just what is called mind muscle connection. That is like a technique that's been used for many decades, especially professional bodybuilders who are really trying to bring up weaker body parts when they are trying to sculpting this beautiful physique of theirs. And the next one is called progressive overload, which is a way of you increasing the weight over time, so you are applying even more tension. So let's imagine that you are starting out your workout, the leg workouts, with 20 kilos, and then you don't want to put too much weight on. You want to gradually increase it, so you perform a warm-up set with 20 kilos. There could be 10 to 12 reps, and then you want to get some blood out to the muscle to waken it up. And then after that is just the warm-up set. It's not like a real set. Then the first set after 60 or 90 seconds of rest, because you want to make sure that the amount of intensity in your workouts are very high. And if you are resting like 60 or 90 seconds with the bigger muscle groups, you are going to have a lot of intensity, and that also equals to a faster way to increasing the muscle mass and burning a lot more calories. So the first set you are increasing it from 20 kilos to 22 kilos or 25 kilos, depending on how strong you are. Make sure that you are feeling the muscle be contracted. Then you are doing 10 to 12 reps, and you always want to have 1 to 2 reps before failure. Failure basically just means that you cannot take a single rep anymore because you just drained. So after you be doing that, you also want to track your whole workouts, every single thing that you're doing when you are working out, because if you're not tracking, you are not understanding where you can improve. So track every fucking thing that you're doing. So if you are feeling more tired, you just know that down the beginning of your workout, I'm feeling a bit more tired. And you also want to have some pre-workout before you are starting out, like my protein. They also have some caffeine pills. That's like 300 milligrams of caffeine that you consume with water before your workout, 10 minutes before, so you're like actually pumped. And then that's the first set. You perform that, and then you wait 60 or 90 seconds again, and then you increase it from 22 to 25 kilos, and then you perform 10 to 12 reps again, and you make sure that you have proper form. And when you are doing any kind of reps, you want to make sure that you are also focusing on your breath, because when you are doing any reps, you have to see it as if you are pushing the weight away from you, you should focusing on doing that for 1 second, and then in the next part of the exercise where you are getting the weight moving towards you again, that is where this the most traumatic part of the exercise, where you are breaking down the most muscle tissues, and you want to do that very slowly, like 2 seconds. So I can also demonstrate it with another example. For example, if you're doing a bicep curl, you're starting with having the barbell here, and then you are taking a breath, and then you are pushing out the air for 1 second while you are slowly curling the bicep curl, and then you are taking a breath again, and then you are slowly exhaling for 2 seconds while you are lowering the barbell for 2 seconds, because that's just the way that you are giving yourself enough oxygen when you are trying to perform the set, and also making sure that you give your enough oxygen to fully contract the muscle. And that is also what is called a good breathing technique, to make sure that you are having enough stamina to being able to perform the workout plan. And after you've been having that dialed in, it takes a lot of practice, but you just want to make sure that you have slow weight. So after 3 compound movements where you are targeting different kinds of muscle groups, you are going to isolation movements. Isolation movements are just targeting a specific muscle groups, because you are already depleted from working out a lot with the compound movements. You're feeling drained. So what you want to do is that utilizing the last part of the energy of yours to focusing on, for example, one muscle group. There could be the quads, like doing leg extension, because that's just easier to target. You already target almost the whole part of the leg, so you just want to specifically target the quads. And by doing that, you can just keep doing the same rep ranges, like 10 to 12 reps. The first set, it could be 20 kilos, just get some blood flow out, making sure that you have a good mind muscle connection to the muscle groups that you are targeting. And you also have your breath, with like you are taking a breath, and then you are exhaling for 1 second while you are doing the leg extension. Then you are taking a breath again, and then you are exhaling again or inhaling for 2 seconds, and that's just doing that. And then you keep adding weight on, like 2.5 kilos, or sometimes you're not able to increase the weight even more, so you just try to do the same weight but only 2 times. You always want to push yourself. If you're not able to push yourself, it just means that the starting weight is just too high, but you want to make that you are noting that down, because these type of workouts are following what is called bodybuilding principles, where it's the most effective way to build muscle and lose weight. And of course, losing weight, I don't care how much you are working out. If you're working out 5 times a week and you having your workouts, you having your diets dialed in, you're not going to see any progress. That's just the workout part with the lifting weights. And you also want to go through your whole body. For example, day 1, it could be just the legs, and the abs, and then the day 2 could be the chest and the triceps. Because if you're training the chest already, you are also going to hit with the compound movement. You're going to hit also the triceps. So it's a very good that you're doing like 3 compound movements for the chest, and then 2, and you're already like fatiguing your triceps. So you can just do 2 or 3 isolation movements for the triceps. And then the third day, you're going to do the shoulders, and then there could be 3 compound movement or 2, and then 2 isolation movement. And then you also just, you don't need to do more. And then day 4, it could be the back. You're already doing a lot of pulling movements, and you're also targeting the biceps. So you also want to incorporate like 2 bicep curls exercises, and you can also do some hamstrings as well. And the 5th day of the workout could be like your weak part. I've been having I was playing a lot of soccer, so I naturally just have way bigger legs, so I was just focusing on the leg part. So that's basically just it. I'd love to know, what is your biggest takeaway so far? Just comment below and let me know. You also need to be aware of doing the right amount of cardio and also the steps. But I always think that you should focusing on doing the cardio after you've been weight training, because you want to utilize all the energy for breaking down the muscle tissue so you can increase your muscle mass. And also having more muscle mass just helps you burn a lot more fat eventually. And cardio is not that important. It only is a very supplementary tool to accelerate your fat loss. If you are having a very active lifestyle where you're doing a lot of steps, like 10,000 or 20,000 steps a day, it's not always recommended that you're doing a lot of cardio. But cardio is just, if you're not losing 1 or 2 pounds more, you can use cardio to create that calorie deficit so you're losing weight even faster. And so I recommend like 3-4 cardio sessions a week on a stationary bike or a cross trainer where there's some resistance and you have a heart rate of 120 or 150, because having some resistance just helps you burn a lot more calories, because that's the main key. And of course you also need stamina, so that's why cardio is also like advisable. And also doing steps like 6,000 steps a day using a step app, just tracking your step, having the phone on you all the time when you are out walking, so you are creating an even bigger calorie deficit. So that's basically just it. I hope you find this video helpful. If you're ready to finally lose the weight for good and become the healthiest version of yourself, just like you see with the transformation pictures in the beginning of the video, you can click the link in the comment section and also in the description where you can apply for coaching with me, and we'll see if you are fit to work with me, and we'll build a plan together.